Yeah.
All the animals, dude.
The dogs, bro.
They had animals for
it was
days.
Hilarious,
yeah,
dude.
Annabelle was pointing out all the dogs.
The
it was
first
awesome.
day,
I was like pointing them out too. I was like, "There's a dog. There's a dog."
Well, that's what's hilarious is the first day it was Annabelle being like, Jack, there's a dog. The second day, Jack's like, Annabelle, there's a dog.
Well, the first day I don't think there was as many dogs. So like she was pointing out the same dogs. I'm like, I've seen that poodle 5 times.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an 8 to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking Jack, I'm going to cut it to 5.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ville Chillin' Podcast. So if you've been tuning in at all for the last few months, you know we've been talking a lot about Via Colori. We've talked to the event coordinator as well as the featured artist for this year. She's awesome, by the way. And we talked to some other artists that have participated for years on end. And we even got to talk awesome to the UK connection, if you will.
Yes.
So it's been a crazy lead up. It's been fun. A lot of fun, amazing stories. A lot of just learning the history of Via, how it's come about in Kentucky, because it is, it is Via Colori Kentucky. So the way it benefits the Girl Scouts so much. So much.
And with all that buildup over the last few months, it really lived to the hype. Like really, the only thing I was disappointed in that I didn't hear about this sooner. I mean, like it's been going around. I guess this was the 16th year.
It was. It's
16th year,
16th
and I
year.
only thing I wish is we would have been a part of it sooner. So it's just great to have been a part of it this year. It was awesome.
And it wasn't only awesome to be there, but it's awesome that we got to talk about it as much as we did. And actually know it on a more intimate level, and be able to share those stories for people,
right? And
and with people,
right? And just understanding all the different stories and what they meant. It definitely, it meant a lot more. It felt like to kind of know every little kind of little details that the backstory. That's what made it even more than interesting.
It's amazing for everyone. And even if we didn't know anything about it beforehand, and we just showed up one day, it's an amazing
Which a lot
festival.
of people do. That's the awesome part about it too. It's so diverse in that there are people that are just because it's on the weekend, and it was an amazing day. So like, there's people that were just maybe just jogging, and they're like, there's a festival going on.
There's a festival,
like it was awesome.
Like right there in the field where the music was going on. And. So even for people like that, it's amazing. But when you're able to walk around and you have a little bit of inside knowledge, just because we've been able to talk to Dusty and Tanya and Christine even, because, we walked past Deb's painting the very first time. Like, it was just an outline, but we saw the name and we knew what that meant.
Right. So, and then to be able to talk to her a little bit later on.
So cool.
Yes. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, all of you. Everybody. Dusty, of course. Tanya, like Joel did amazing.
Killed it this year.
Which we'll see.
We know we got pictures in here somewhere.
Oh, there's Jeff too.
Jeff and Carrie.
Yes, awesome. The brother and sister duo that did some amazing work.
Yeah, absolutely awesome, man. It was such, and right there, they've only expected to do that one square, but then they ended up having to do the square next to it, and they added in even more and just, gritted it out over the next 2 days, man. That's crazy. That Mario piece, I don't know exactly who did that, but that one's amazing. The one showing kind of in the background right now.
And it was really cool because when we first saw the Mario piece,
it was up on the bridge.
It was at the top of the bridge.
Yeah.
And at the time that the artist hadn't finished it, some of the characters were kind of grayed out.
Everything was great.
So by the time we get to the bottom, it was colored in. So it almost like looked like in the video game, like, you know, until the part of it's like activated or whatever, it's not colored in. So that looked really cool.
Like in the distance, yeah.
And then right now we're looking at like a 3D dragonfly, like the way that they drew the shadow
right
underneath it. It's just like
so
perfect.
Cool. And that was fairly early, or I think was that the beginning of the first day?
Yes, I think so. I think that was before the marching band.
When we first got there, yeah, that was so cool.
Which I think, and I might be wrong, correct me, I want to say it was this...
Was it Detroit? Is that what
you're right. Yes, the Detroit marching band. They made an appearance, which they do.
We'll tag it below. We'll
tag them specifically to make sure we get them right. There they are actually. If you're anybody that's watching on YouTube,
on the right,
they're at the bottom right. They start out at right above the bridge, and then they walked all the way around. They actually ended up at the No Comply concert.
I saw that video. Yeah, you sent me that video.
Which for anyone that doesn't know, No Comply, this is I think their third year. They're really awesome. They do skate park. They do concerts at the skate park, and they're very based on like do it yourself kind of concerts where you kind of just make do with the space that you have and just do like make for like really interesting concerts. So it was really cool when you see the video. Out of nowhere,
they broke a table right in front of the
they just show
band,
up around a half pipe and then they just break through a table like some.
They literally like set up the table and then dude just runs in and like jumps on it and slams his back on it, dude. It was wild. That's a really cool picture right there. I do like that one a lot. That's the beginning of the first day right there. So what we were looking at a second ago was the end of the first day, I think. But that so bare. It's crazy how it goes from so bare to so done.
Right, yeah. Like the lapse of it.
Wow. And it's in one of the most beautiful spots in the city, really, being able to go up on the Big Fort Bridge and just see the cityscape like that. You can't really do that anywhere else. And be on the water, and it just so happens that weekend there's an amazing art festival with amazing people, amazing food, everything, an amazing beer truck.
Yes, they they do good work here. They do the Lord's work. It was really cool too being able to meet up with like friends and family, and experiencing it with them as well. Like that was really cool.
Yeah. Annabelle definitely loved it. She had a blast. The bubbles, everything. From the start. Meeting up with Dusty in person for the first time, and then just being able to kind of,
which she told us because we hadn't met in person yet, and we were just going back and forth through email, and then we had a couple of the video chats of video shows, and then she told us to just look out for the go-kart, and as soon as we saw a go-kart speeding through, dude,
we knew who it was.
Yes. Yeah. And she was so awesome, very like she does such amazing work. Like I don't know how she does it. Like just looking at everything that she helps bring together and coordinate. Like
yeah, and then to take the time out to stop what she's doing and come say hey to us
made us feel so welcome. Like thank you so much, Dusty. Thank you, like Via Colori, the Girl Scouts. Tanya was awesome. Like
it's cool. Yep. And being able to talk to the Girl Scouts, like you said, them interviewing us was pretty awesome. I think they're the first ones to interview us. It's usually us
that was our first
people.
interview, right? Yeah, like
it's the first time we've been interviewed,
right.
So that was really cool.
I talked about getting a pumpkin from Kroger's, and then Publix was the sponsor. So
that was not on purpose.
Yeah, it was an accident because I don't get my pumpkins from. I get them from Publix every time.
Yeah,
all the animals, dude.
The dogs, bro.
They had animals for
It was
days.
hilarious,
Yeah,
dude.
Annabelle
'Cause
was
the
pointing out all the dogs.
the
Like, it was
first
awesome.
day-
I was like pointing them out too. I was like, "There's a dog. There's a dog."
Well, that's what's hilarious is the first day it was Annabelle being like, Jack, there's a dog. The second day, Jack's like, Annabelle, there's a dog.
Well, the first day I don't think there was as many dogs. So like
But
she
it
was,
was so funny.
like she was pointing out the same dogs. I'm like, I've seen that poodle 5 times. Like
Hey,
on the second
Merlin-
day, there was Merlin. Wait, was that Merlin on the
Merlin
first
was
day?
the first day.
Okay, the first day there was a
Merlin
dog.
got interviewed before we did.
He did, yeah. The Girl Scouts found
Merlin
him,
got
yes.
interviewed before we did.
A
But that tail
awesome dog. He had a
was
rainbow tail.
crazy.
Very awesome dog. Yeah, Mr. Merlin.
You can find that interview on the Girl Scouts of Kentucky
But
Anna
then-
page or the Via Colori page.
Yes, and then on the second day there was the dog with the little bulldog with the wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, little
Yeah,
Rolly.
that was so cool, dude.
I mean, I don't know if that was his name, but that's what we calling him.
all
awesome.
of them were just so cool. They were so friendly. You know, they were just part of it, and it was really cool to see it because you don't really see any festivals that are that pet friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there were. I hope it doesn't sound bad, but there were literally people at the picnic tables, like with their dog, like sitting right next to them on the bench with them, you know,
Well,
and the
yeah.
dogs were just that well behaved.
Every one of them.
You know, it was crazy and it was so cool.
Yep, and seeing some of the doggies interact, like you could tell,
Yeah.
these pet owners take good care of their dogs, and their dogs are very well socialized.
So
Like,
well behaved, dude. So
it was
well behaved.
it was so funny.
I want to
'cause-
take Bandit, but I'm like, can you be that good, bro?
right, like
It really was. It was amazing. Like really every aspect of the festival was just amazing. The music, dude.
the music.
The music. I can't even count the number of amazing covers, that we heard.
When we first got there, like before we even knew exactly where we was at to make sure we was in the right place, I heard somebody covering Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Amazing band, dude, but I couldn't imagine, like, I'd never heard anybody cover them like that before. And I'm pretty sure, this was one of the opening bands on Saturday, so forgive me, I didn't get the name. But if anybody knows it, let us know who, it was, I'm pretty sure brought to you by the School of Rock, what was it called?
The Louisville School of Rock.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't the Louisville School of Rock, I don't think.
No, Encore was the second day. I thought.
Okay, was the first one Louisville? Okay, cool. So the first day was Louisville.
I think. I don't know for sure.
Okay, let's.
I know there were acts there that were under School of Rock, Louisville School of Rock, and Encore. I don't know which was at what time. I know
okay.
we
Okay,
heard
so both
Alice in
days. So yeah, it
Chains.
could have been either one then.
We
yeah.
heard so much stuff. I know both were involved though. It was just crazy. Yeah. The Alice in Chains, the Prince covers, bro, like the Creed covers.
Yes. Oh, well, no, the Creed wasn't covered, dude. That was just them playing radio. I was just hyped for Creed, okay?
It was just funny.
Yeah. I was like, dude, they're playing Creed. And it was on a Sunday. And they was playing the My Own Prison, where he's like, oh, I could have been dead on a Sunday morning. Like, so I was like, dude, it's Sunday. They're playing Creed. Like,
that was so funny. Oh, man. But no, the bands really were awesome. And props to the bands, honestly. Some of them are definitely younger than us, and they have the gall to get up there and do it.
well, a lot of them were high schoolers.
Yeah.
And they did amazing.
In front of that many people. Yeah, there weren't people like immediately in front of the stage all the time, but just the whole park could hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And multiple times they got reactions from the entire festival, really, because you could hear it everywhere.
And for them to be able to do that, because like the way it's set up, it's really cool, because it's almost like there's a compartment for everybody. Like there's a compartment for the chalk art, there's a compartment for an area for the vendors, there's an area for the music, and everything's kind of separated in like a nice organized way. To where I'm sure as a performer, if you look out, like at certain times, they might have only saw right in front of them maybe 20 people, but the hundreds of people around there were all listening to them if they didn't,
And
even
that's
if they
just
didn't
the
notice it. So for them to
100
be able to like still feed off that energy and like play like they, you know,
That's
like
just
they did
the 100
awesome.
or 2 people that are just happen to be there as like visitors and guests. You know, you got all the vendors can hear them all day long.
Yes,
The food trucks can hear them all day long. The sponsors can hear them all day long. So yeah,
they did awesome.
it was so cool.
And then the sound production, I think
Inspiring, really.
the sound production, wicked production. Yes, very, really, like, because you know, like they're going somewhere, like especially them being younger or whatever. Like, Wicked Productions, dude, Wicked Productions, they kicked ass. Like, because he was also, I forgot what his name was. We did talk to him for a second. And Teresa told us about him. She introduced him, introduced us to him. And was like, yeah, they helped organize this. It was like, no, we
did
we
not.
just talked to a couple people.
We just talked to
like we haven't done anything.
We just happened to get lucky enough to talk to some
Yeah,
people.
and just felt very welcome. So, like, but yeah, Wicked Productions, they just did amazing sound checks. Like there were certain times, like when he also kind of emceed where like if the crowd like wasn't responding necessarily to the musicians, he was like, "Hey, I'm still here. Do y'all want me to shut up?" Yeah, you know, and like everybody was supposed to.
Yeah, it was really cool. We were up on the Big Four Bridge when he did that at one point, and you could hear him like all the way up there. He's like, "It's the second day, and I'm not gonna stop till I get a reaction." And everybody just kind of lit up. It was so cool, and there was just like, I think one thing that made it feel so amazing was the fact that there's enough space that it's not overwhelming and it's not overcrowded. You know what I mean? There's enough space to move around. You're not overcrowded. You're not like having to freak out and trying to push past people to do things. But there's still so much to do and so much to experience and just so much, really. Like it's crazy because you can walk across. It feels like it doesn't feel like you're walking for very long to get to anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still it's just enough space to where you don't feel so overcrowded that you don't want to be there, especially if you have like social anxiety or anything like that. I don't like crowded places, you know what I mean? But this really just felt right.
And that's a perfect way to put it. Like there wasn't any time where it felt like the crowd was overwhelmed. Like there was a crowd there, and but it wasn't overwhelming. It was we could all have our own space or and
everyone was respectful of each other's space.
Right.
You know, it's not like it was shoulder to shoulder, but there was still so many cool things.
There was still that interaction where you
there.
could just go up to anyone and be like, you know, what's that you're drawing? That's awesome. You know, how long you been working on that? Like that's
and even like the crowd were talking to each other about the art that they were seeing, you know, but it was still just such a friendly atmosphere and just everyone just wanted to see and appreciate it. It was really cool.
And every individual aspect could have been a reason to go alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody could just went just for the music or just for the chalk or just, you know, to help the charities or the vendors or the food. Like the food alone.
The food was well, okay, what food did you eat, Jack?
Benelli's.
How many times?
At Via Colori?
Yeah.
3. The first day, and then we had Spinelli's, I think, after.
We did.
And then the next day only 2 because
Jack was definitely very appreciative of the Spinelli's truck.
Yeah, like I knew I was at home, dude. Like
beyond that, there was so many good vendors there. I had both Mexican food trucks at tacos from one and a burrito from the other, and they were both fantastic. Our buddy Chris had the burrito from one of them. He loved it. The queso fries, Annabelle loved them. And then on top of that, we got the cookie from Bay's Bakery here in town on Frankfurt Avenue.
Oh, yes, he was awesome, yeah.
Yep. So we got cookies from there. Annabelle loved those. Chris loved those. You know, there was so many cool things there. Really, So many vendors, various food, various art, trinkets, everything.
It really is. Like,
Music, bubbles, games for kids. Like, Annabelle loved the bubbles.
and I got to go, like, because, yeah, you went and kind of did the family thing with Annabelle and
My
your sister had your nephew. And, you know, I wasn't really trying to go by that part, so I just went and listened to music. So it was cool.
Yeah, so you heard a lot more of the music, but I got it. A lot of the games were really cool for them.
I mean, it goes back to what they were
time.
saying. You know, there's something for everyone.
What's up, everybody? We just wanted to take a quick pause and say, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Drop us a couple comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't, and let us know what you think about the video. And make sure to share out with your friends and family. It really helps us a lot.
Yeah, we're on every social media platform. We're on every podcast provider out there. So whenever you get a chance, just give us a like, give us a follow. We definitely appreciate it. It really help us out.
And with that, we'll get right back to it.
Yeah, so there was just, like you were saying, there was so much for everyone. The STEM zone was pretty cool. I don't know exactly what they were mixing, but there was stuff popping back there. We got told to move out of the way. So much stuff. Science, art, food, music, vendors, games for kids. What else? Everything.
Like, it was an event. Like, again, every individual, like, spectacle or you know, part of it could have been an event on itself. Like, somebody, I could have just went there just for the chalk art.
There's a TARDIS.
One of our friends did their marriage pictures there.
Yeah,
right?
Engagement pictures.
Pictures. Okay, yeah. Well, either way, like, that's amazing.
It's so crazy that the more people we talk to, the more it kind of, like, all of it intertwines so much with the festival.
A lot of synchronicities. Like, it is wild how many synchronicities, you know, happen.
So many.
Like, that, you know, just over the weekend, just the last few months. So, again, just really cool, you know, really awesome to be part of it. Just a small part of it, you know. Again, how much...
And we feel like it's a very small part, but we're honored to have been able to sponsor, again, an art piece by Master Joel Nathan, who we talked to. We had the pleasure of learning his story, and he did such an amazing piece.
He got a shout out from Marvel.
He did.
Like, yeah. And he had to work the next day, too. So, like, for him to, you know, take the time... You know, just bang out an amazing piece. I think altogether, I think he said over 14 hours. I think
16.
Was it 16?
I think it was 16 hours, 44 minutes or something like that. So, almost 17 hours of work, but it was just nothing short of amazing. It's one of those pieces you really can't explain unless you see up close. And then to sit there and think, like, this is chalk art. It's insane. It's just insane. You would think it was like a digital image.
Right. The detail. Amazing.
Not just the detail, but the colors and the way he blended the colors. You know, it's obviously not like a realistic image, but it's still an image that can, you know, you could still see the faces and the details of it. Digital. I don't know, but it was wild. I thought it was just awesome. And then Jeff and Carrie, I mean, his Bugs Bunny looked like the Bugs Bunny on my hat.
Right, and it was just, again, one of those synchronicities, you know, anything he could have chose to draw that day, like, yeah, he went with Bugs Bunny, which is perfect, and then you was rocking the Bugs Bunny hat, so,
yeah.
It was really cool to see all the different people we talked to. Kayla. It's funny, we said at the same time, dude, like...
Killed it.
As always, like, everybody explained, you know... Everyone explained...
And
everyone
that we talked to. Congratulations to them.
Yes. Congratulations, y'all. You know, last time we talked, I guess, that was her fiance, and they got married since then, so congratulations. So...
The art was just crazy. The booth they had set up there was crazy.
Right. Every time you look, she'd be almost like like they said, at a different square. And we wanted we want to get a chance to talk to her, but we understood like she was busy and we didn't want to kind of like distract that.
She had a lot of Girl Scouts talking to her and different people talking to her. Speaking of Teresa, she decided she went up and talked to her a little bit.
Yes, she's awesome.
But
which I don't know why I said that. That's Mother Teresa. We're gonna start calling her that, Mother Teresa. Dude.
Might as well. So many amazing artists, the ones that we've had on the show and otherwise, and we need to get more on the show. We definitely have plans to get more. It's just been crazy, and they're just so talented. Between them, the vendors, the whole show, story, how it benefits people is just amazing.
And like how many people just come together for that too, as far as like monetarily, just volunteering their talents, their skills, their time, so much time, like and
it's a free show,
right? Like exactly.
You know what I mean? Like the only money that comes in is from vendor spots and sponsors. It's a free thing. People can just literally walk in. Like they had gates set up, yes, but you know what those gates said? Free event. Which most of the free events that you find around the city have nowhere near that much.
Well, what comes to mind just because
Gaslight Festival is cool.
Gaslight Festival was cool, yeah, but still, even then, like
saw Katie and Demi, but it was still.
Oh yeah,
there was still nowhere near the level of things that Via Colori had.
Right,
honestly,
right, and I mean,
as far as like food trucks and everything, there was a lot of vendors, sure, but it was so packed. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about at Via, you had room to. Didn't have to feel like you were just moving in a wave of a crowd.
It reminded me
do what you needed to do.
With it being more downtown, it kind of reminded me of almost like one of my favorite events is Thunder. So it gave me that feel of being downtown and a bunch of people, but it didn't give you that smother, because there's times when it's just shoulder to shoulder.
Thunder is bad,
like and the traffic's horrible. It feels like it almost had that same amount of. Not that same amount of crowd, maybe, but
energy.
Energy, yes.
Yeah,
like
definitely the same energy,
right? But energy was something also to do. You know what I'm saying? Like there was, with it being closer, the different.
There was something you could do at all times and feel comfortable doing.
Right,
just didn't care. It didn't matter to move from one. It wasn't this huge crowd to try to move through. There wasn't anything stopping you. It's just like, hey, I want some food. Hey, I want to listen to music. Hey, I want to go look at some art. Hey, I want to, go on the bridge and look down. It didn't matter what you wanted to do. You could do everything you wanted to do at any given moment. It's a very freeing feeling, but it was also just a very energized feeling, as there was just so much going on.
Very much. And even down to, I mean, it sounds weird, even down to the porta potties. the porta potties were clean. Like, and
they were.
Like, a lot of times when you go to festivals or there's
a reason
like
they made a post about it. I understand now.
Like,
they make sure they get the best.
And you see, like, you see them being cleaned in between, like, in.
I had my daughter there for 2 days, and I didn't have to worry that it was going to be just awful inside.
And that says a lot, like, because some of those
she's 5.
Man, I mean, some of those
I've been in worse restrooms.
Those Thunder porta potties, dude. You just gotta hold your breath, man.
I've been in worse restrooms in like Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen restaurants get a 95 and not have that good of like bathroom. So kudos to those guys.
Yeah, it was. It was just an all-around great experience. It was. Dusty told us for the last several months. Can't really explain it. You just got to be there.
Right, and I'm so glad.
I think that fit.
That was the only We've spent. I think we had. This might be one of our last episodes talking about it for a while, but I'm sure we'll bring it up again. But even after all those many episodes, all that time talking about it or whatever, she was right. All the words, everybody kind of said the same thing. Like, you have to kind of be there. It's just an experience, and again, like anybody that's watching this, you want to be there next year.
Yeah, and I mean, I think other than just talking about it, if you're watching the YouTube video, the images behind us, I think, tell a lot of it. You can see like every aspect of it, and it's just amazing. But there is so much art. Like, as the images scroll, there's just so much art. It tells kind of a story in and of itself, because it just builds, and there's so much that you can see, and there's so much that you can't. And that's really what the festival is. Like, you can be told what people think you should expect, but once you get there, what you experience is something different.
100%. Yeah, right. It's it really is, like, what comes to mind is almost like Hunter S. Thompson and almost like that Gonzo experience. Like, you got to kind of be there to really, you can try to report on it, but got to be there to like really, really know what it's like.
You have to live it. Yep, for sure. It was so fun. I can't wait for Via 2025.
Dude, I'm already marking my calendar.
For sure. We know what to expect it. We know it's in October. We know about what weekend in October. We're going. Hopefully between now and then we can talk to a few more artists, because there are some amazing people. We saw some amazing art, and we definitely talked to some more people. Artists, vendors,
the musicians, the artists, the vendors, right? Like
the production companies.
Yes,
like,
Wicked Productions. Hopefully we can get in touch with them.
We definitely want to try to talk to anybody and everybody involved, because every single person has their own reasoning for being involved, or their own story and how they got involved, and it's so cool to learn. I think it adds so much to experiencing the festival, because people who just walk in and who don't know anything about it, that TARDIS is there and they don't know why, and it might be the first year it's there, but for us, we know it's been there for years and how important it is. Things like that. Just some of the art, again, the art that Deb did for Ray.
And we were lucky enough, we were lucky to get that backstory. We were very fortunate to get that backstory of everything. But I could just imagine the person who just stumbles upon it.
Yeah.
And then you go home that day and somebody asks you, so what happened? You're like, well, there were Spinellis. There was School with Rock. There was Shock.
A TARDIS.
Bubbles. Lots of bubbles, man. And there was a TARDIS.
And then a random Cthulhu.
Why not?
Taking a TARDIS.
Yes.
With a panda in it.
Yes. Speaking of,
Deb.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Christine.
That was amazing. But it's so wild. You're right. Like, you can go, you can experience all like 3 or 4 things you just said in a 5-minute walk across the field.
Right. So it's again, it's something hard to explain. You got to experience.
And the kids loved those bubbles.
What was you bought them for Annabelle? What was the company's name again?
Enchanted Rainbow Bubbles. I think on Facebook.
Oh, did you? You found them on Facebook? Are they local or?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Fairly local. Yeah. Hey. But it's really cool, and man, like that huge tiered wand that he had just had the kids like screaming in the best way possible.
So wait, the guy who was it like a stump? The stump. The guy that got on top of it, he was also part of the. Okay, I didn't know if that was almost like a separate. Yeah. Either way, nice.
Yep, he's part of it. And then, it was just really awesome to see the kid. Like, The kids just loved it. I don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Like, they really just loved it. Annabelle loved it. It was so awesome. She spent too much time going back and forth between that and then her own bubbles because they had the demonstration stations out. It was just awesome. There was something for everybody. Like we've said 100 times, there was just so many things to experience, and it will definitely be going back. Hopefully we can talk to some more people between now, some more stories to talk to, and even more stories from people we didn't talk to. A lot there. There's a lot to unpack, and it's just an experience.
And now, like, I'm even more excited to see what's going to happen next year. Because, I mean, this
Dusty
year,
has something every year.
yeah, this year's,
And there were 2 moons this year, so might have been why it was so awesome.
next year,
We need 3 moons.
2 suns, bro, 2 suns.
Oh, that sounds hot.
Better, like, that sounds
It's
better
better
than rain.
Yeah, or snow. Anyways, I think that's definitely a good sign that we're out of things to talk about. Other than it was just amazing.
Again, awesome experience. Y'all got to be there next year.
So I guess with that, we'll end it there and see everybody in the next one.
Yeah.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm going to cut it to 5.